This is the MMA Brief podcast, recapping the world of mixed martial arts every single week, with your host, Brandon Johansson.
Welcome back to the MMA Brief podcast, episode 52, covering a whole range of things. We got a busy weekend starting tonight, actually. Tonight, huge card, Ultimate Fighter finale in the UFC. There's also a Bellator tonight. So I'm just going to jump right into what's going to happen here in a couple hours. First thing I noticed that I don't like is there's two El Guapos on the card. Okay. There's only one Bas Rutten, but apparently there are two El Guapos on this card. First El Guapo is the first fight of the night. Chris Gutierrez is the El Guapo in question. I find it strange. I've never heard anybody else called El Guapo. Maybe some people pronounce it with a hard G, El Guapo. I don't know. My point is that two just come out of the woodwork and booked on the same card. Now I'm finding out about it. I'm a little bit disappointed. Come up with a different nickname, all right? There's one Bas Rutten. There's one El Guapo, whatever it is. That's the first thing that popped out at me at the card. Obviously, there's other things. I'm going to start towards the bottom. I'm going to jump around a little bit. But Ricky Rainey, immediately when I saw him at the weigh-ins, I said, this guy looks familiar. How do I know him? Sure, I've seen him fight, obviously. But he was the guy that got TKO'd against Michael Venom Page at Bellator's first pay-per-view card. So I think that's where I first remember seeing him. And then in his UFC debut, recently he got knocked out. So he needs to obviously win to stay in the UFC. But he's got a tough opponent, Tim the Dirty Bird Means. And Tim has lost 3 of his last 4, albeit this past 2 against stiff competition by split decision, Belal Muhammad and Sergio Moraes. So he needs a win. They both need wins. And they're both good martial artists. So I think that fight is won right out the gate. I look at the piece of paper. That one jumps out at me. That one might be a good one. There's several others. I looked at Kevin Aguilar versus Rick the Gladiator Glenn. Rick Glenn unfortunately missed weight. Former World Series of Fighting featherweight champion. Former Team Alpha Male standout. Believe he's working with Duke Rufus, if I'm not mistaken. Point being, he's fighting a guy like Kevin Aguilar. You peel the layers back and you look at his record. He started out his career 7-0. Go back 5 years ago when he fought Leonard Garcia in Legacy Fighting. He got caught. Definitely got caught. First round. Since then, he's gone 8-0. He's 15-1 overall. I think that's going to be a great fight. And we saw Kevin Aguilar most recently, probably on Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series, but I remember watching him on Access TV fights. So he's been around, and he's fighting a former champion in a different promotion tonight, albeit he missed weight. No one likes to hear that. Speaking of someone else who missed weight, Valentina Shevchenko's sister, I want to pronounce this right, Antonina Shevchenko, is making her debut against a fighter who missed weight. Jing Lian, I believe is how you pronounce it. I don't want to pretend like I know, but she missed weight. Both her and Rick Glenn forfeited 30% of their money. You got to make weight. So you got the Ultimate Fighter finale. I didn't watch this season, the Ultimate Fighter 28. It's on my DVR. Never got a chance to watch it, admittedly. But I did look into the fighters, and Juan Espino which I don't think I had ever said until the other day. Espino. Juan Espino. He's the other El Guapo. So he's fighting a very game Justin Frazier, which, if I wasn't reading his record wrong, I believe all of his wins are by first round stoppage. Both of them look like they could use the UFC Performance Institute, maybe get a little bit more toned, TV ready, I guess, is how I put it. But it'd be interesting to see who emerges in that heavyweight. And there's also a female featherweight finale as well. And then you can't forget Rafael dos Anjos versus Kamaru Usman in the main event. Ridiculous fight. Yeah, so this is all happening within a couple hours here. It's going to be a really good night of fights. You also have Joseph Benavidez, who is supposed to be on that UFC Denver card, 25th anniversary, in fighting Ray Borg. Ray Borg pulled it out. Joseph Benavidez got quickly rescheduled, and he's fighting Alex Perez. I really just like this whole card. You got Edmund Shabazian, who we saw in the Contender Series. He's a young, 21-year-old, 7-0 stud, and he's got the dentist. He's going up against the dentist. So Darren Stewart, who started his career with UFC Rough, 7-0, coming out of the UK. First fight, originally a TKO, was overturned due to an accidental headbutt. He rematched that same opponent, lost by decision. Loses by submission 2 times in a row. He's got 3 straight losses and a no contest on his UFC record. He's righted the ship. He's got 2 straight second-round TKO victories. And Darren Stewart is a tough test for young Edmund Shabazian. I'm really interested in a lot of fights tonight. And then you also have Bellator, which I don't really understand this very much, but I'll go ahead and just give you a list of notable fighters from Bellator who are fighting this weekend, with a caveat. Joe Warren, Joe Schilling, Daniel Weichel, Chris Honeycutt, Gerald Harris, all fighting on the only online streamed portion. It just doesn't make any sense to me, because as a fan of Bellator for as long as I can remember, I remember watching Bellator on MTV2, maybe like Epics before that or some shit. But the point is you watch a Bellator card for a Joe Warren. At least I do. A Joe Schilling appearance in MMA. I just don't understand. Daniel Weichel is on the non-televised prelims. Other notable fighters who will be on Paramount Network, potentially even DAZN, don't quote me. Juan Archuleta, who's a training partner of TJ Dillashaw. I believe he's 22-1, 20-1. Yeah, he's very good. And he's fighting a game opponent with 20 wins himself. So, also Chidian Jaquani and John Salter in the main event. I'm probably not going to watch that one. I might watch it on replay. There's so much going on this weekend. It would be hard to watch every single fight. I'm sure there's people that are going to do it. More power to you. My point is, I'm very excited about this Ultimate Fighter 28 finale. It's happening tonight, Friday, tomorrow, Saturday. Huge card in Adelaide. Main evented by Tai Tuivasa, versus Junior Dos Santos. That's a huge fight for both guys. Because Tai Tuivasa, 10-0. Junior Dos Santos, former champion. He's needs a win, and he needs to stop taking damage. As a fan of his, he needs to stop getting hit in the head so much. So this is a dangerous matchup for him. But it's a dangerous matchup for a 10-0 fighter like Tai Tuivasa as well. Tyson Pedro against Shogun Rua. And if you watched Shogun's last fight against Anthony Smith, I just don't want to see him get roughed up again. But great fight. And then Mark Hunt versus Justin Willis. I'll go down tomorrow. Jake Matthews, several other notable fighters on that card Saturday. But also another Bellator card on Saturday. Alessio Sakara is main eventing that one. Also, Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury in the heavyweight boxing match that everybody wants to see. You also have a LFA and a KSW event. 6-7 events. It's hard to keep up with all of them. But I wanted to come back. Wanted to do an episode, and thanks for listening.